Okay, so you gotta look at specifics. Alright, you gotta determine which one you want faster. So based on that, those things, think about the materials, about which would you want faster, and explain why. Okay, done. Second step is after you complete the quiz, there's a little video on the class notes you can watch. Click on that. You just say which one do you have faster, point to one. Point to the main, don't worry about this previous copy. Which one do you have the fastest? What? The fastest, before you have the fastest. It's just this one you have to play. Which of those? That's a win. Alright, then I can't also do the second fastest. You got really fast. Which one? Okay. Super low. Really high. Which one do you know what? Okay. It's a faster. Okay. That's a really no bonus. Okay, so is it a lower number? Is that faster or higher? Good. Use that as- Nice. Okay, hold your chair carefully to the table. Start. Why don't you sit drop in? Solid. Okay. Done. If you're done, go ahead, watch the video, it's on the class. I want you to draw me like solid looking at gas, but like if you were looking at the molecules.
Mr. Miller, every time. Oh, yeah, we do that thing now.
Go and fix it.
I was doing that again.
You must did someone, did you log in somewhere like in the club?
No, I log in.
I'm logging Mr. Yeah, maybe someone did it there. So see this, we got trash. That's probably crush our, I'm gonna, can you write crush arcade up on the boards now to disable?
Yeah.
You wanna go?
Are you done? Just finish it first, yeah, no. I'll bet you crush arcade is on yours, but that's the only thing that could be done.
How do
Yeah,
you spell it?
just crush arcade. So I'll need to delete that from your stuff. Yeah. You see a difference now? See, is it different now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's what was causing the issue. Okay, Nate, if you're done, you can go here. And I want you to start by drawing me the molecular structure of solids. Right, Gerald. You gotta- Okay, I'll flip to the video. Settings. And then click on extensions and get rid of the Crush Arcade.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. See, any questions? See, one, say, right, those ones up. Or just use- Yeah. I'll put that one. Okay, draw me a model of solids, liquids, and gases. Okay, you need to go to the video now. What was that called again, Carl? What was it called? Arcade Safari?
Yeah, Arcade Safari. And then,
Cut the rope.
yeah.
Am I supposed to be here, Mr. Mayor?
And then I
If you want to show you the video, you can go here. Okay, down. I need to focus on video. Drum in. Solids, liquids, gases. This is, you can pull it right. Just watch the video. Okay, pull it right. Okay, since I have you guys here, we're gonna pause it. Okay, those are the rest of you. Everybody pause for a second, pause the video. Hey, now, you guys, yeah. Yes. You guys did pause for a second. Okay, Jesus, actually, why don't you just go up to that? You can just go up to that table there, so I don't have to go. Okay, listen up, gentlemen. Those of you who are at your stations now, if you are completed watching the video, then on Classroom is an assignment. There's an assignment on Google Classroom. What it's going to ask you to do is, I've given you a term, for instance, like conduction, and it says you need to create a question to which conduction is the answer. So if I say, what is it called when heat is exchanged by two objects touching? Answer, conduction. So then I've got a list of terms on there to which you need to create questions for. So it's like you're creating a quiz, but you only have the answers, kind of Jeopardy style. So if you complete the video while I'm working with these guys, you guys go to Classroom and complete that assignment. Any questions? Yes, you do. Go to the Classroom. Just press escape. All right, so here's I want to go over some terms for you guys, Stacey. Okay, so a lot of you guys.
Mr. Mac, how you doing?
Yes, so we got solids are always close, liquids are a little closer, gases are farther apart. You got it. That's good. Hey, Cease, you're going here. So one of the big things I want to really stress to you guys is what's happening with these molecules, solids, liquids, and gases. So you guys watched that video on absolute zero.
Yeah.
So the key is even when they're solid and tightly packed together, if I were just to draw like one of these molecules and just kind of show it has just a little, this is too large, it has just a little bit of motion to it. You see what I'm saying? Just a teeny tiny bit of motion. Well, what's happening in absolute zero? Maybe describe what's happening in absolute zero. Nothing. Okay? So in absolute zero, completely and totally still. And why is absolute zero so cold? Why is it, what does it have to do with heat? So what's happening?
Doesn't really create heat.
Okay, so heat is caused by motion, right? Or motion creates heat, correct? So when you get to absolute zero, that's as cold as something can get. You can't get any colder than absolute zero. That's the absolute coldest something can get, all right? Because when you get down to zero motion, you've reached absolute zero. Now, if we add just the teeniest, tiniest bit of energy to it, what starts to happen? And then what happens to the motion? We start to get just a teeny tiny bit of motion. Well, at this point, it's probably not bumping into much, because it's just a little bit. And this is about as close as scientists can get to absolute zero. It's really almost impossible to actually get something down to absolute zero and stop all the motion. So essentially everything, remember I talked about this table, the molecules in it are moving right now. Now it's about 73 degrees, it's not even anywhere near absolute zero. Liquid nitrogen, okay, which remember when we went to the gradient and we saw them pour that stuff on? That is, I think, minus 270 degrees Fahrenheit, or yeah, minus 270 degrees Fahrenheit. which means it's on the Kelvin scale. So 0 on the Kelvin scale is absolute 0. Okay, on the Celsius scale, that's like minus 273. And then I'm terrible at all these conversions, but it's not even close to that. Right? Liquid nitrogen isn't even close to absolute 0. Think how cold liquid nitrogen freezes. So liquid nitrogen, even when things are frozen in liquid nitrogen, they're still moving quite a bit. So now we heat them up. Do you think that there's a limit to how hot something can get?
Oh,
No. Why do you think that?
because it's not.
That's it.
Oh, wait, anything get hotter than
What?
these?
There's lots of things. There's lots of stars that are hotter than the sun. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
there is no limit because it's not like you can say there's a limit to how fast something can move. It can move all over the place, right? So since it can move all over the place, it has a lot of energy, right? And that energy is transmitted in one way that we haven't really talked about yet, and that is radiation. Okay? So I want you to draw me a picture of conduction with a one-sentence explanation. Draw me conduction. Draw something, draw me an example of conduction. Okay, down. Isaac, can you guys focus in? Isaac, can you focus in?
What are you doing?
What in class? Alright, so you're on top, can you explain what's kind of,
Is that explain?
you can explain it to me. What's going on?
Well, metals moving of hot water.
How's the energy being transferred, what's happening?
Metals are conductive.
Well, metals are conductor, but specifically with regard to conduction, what's happening?
The heat passes through the metal.
Okay, from what? What's it touching?
It's touching water.
Hot water. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So those hot water molecules, imagine I'm hot water and you're a spoon, and all of a sudden, bang, bang. And so now, as all those molecules start banging into you, what happens to you?
I also.
Start moving a little faster, don't you? So as you start moving faster, then everything else starts bumping into it. So like, if I start moving here, it's kind of like, it is a nice little dance there too. So, and that's what's happening. So knowledge is like, starting here, right? You be the hot water. I'll be the edge of the spoon. Okay? Do it again. Okay? And that's exactly what's happening. All the molecules are just bumping into each other and getting going. All right? They're touching. That only happens when they're touching. Yes. We've covered some of them.
Yeah.
Okay? If you get stuck, you need to research on your own. Okay? Just as an example.
The tasers.
Okay, Nate, what do you got? Okay, so
Conduction, two things are touching each other.
exactly, what do you got? See, right now your definition's a little too general. It has to be two things, because there's a lot of ways that heat can be transferred. So you have to have two objects touching each other. Okay? Two objects touching each other. Now, hold on here. We got another example. So the two objects are touching each other, but are all objects going to heat up the same way? Oh, why not?
Specific heat.
Specific heat? Yeah. So what's the deal with specific heat?
The lower the specific heat is, the less it takes to heat it up.
Exactly. So you guys saw on the quiz that you took, copper was the lowest specific heat, right? Copper heats up pretty fast. All right. So it's a very good conductor, meaning yes. Friction doesn't really have anything to do with this. It's all those molecules. So let's look at it this way. Now, can I set up Tolo for a second? Okay. Watch here. Difference? Well, okay, that's not very strong. Try that again. Not as loud, right? That's because this is slowing down the force of this into the table. If I just hit the table directly, all the force from my hand goes right into the table. But this slows it down because this is an insulator. And so the padding in here it absorbs energy. It doesn't, basically this would have a very high specific heat. Are you with me on this?
So I can try it on.
Yeah, that would have helped insulate it. Anything that slows down, because here's the deal. The molecules that make up like the fabric in here, they're very spread apart. And so they kind of just like absorb everything, cushion everything. And that's what's happening. So let's do the difference. Let's do that dance again, where this time I'm gonna be styrofoam. Ready? Styrofoam, go. Okay, now copper. Ready? Copper. Okay. Now something in between. Something in between. Go. Okay. It just depends on what the material is. Yeah. So that's like styrofoam. All right. Go ahead. Okay. Focus on the. All right. Now, I want you guys to draw me a picture of convections. Oh, convection. Because they're bouncing. Yep, they're touching. This time, draw convection. Do this. Look. Yeah. Well, what's going on there?
It's an iron saying, but they're not touching.
But they're not touching. Okay, well that's one way. What might be a little more clear example? Because like that's that. In a sense, it is conduction because the iron's heating up. What's it heating up?
The air.
The air around it, and that air is kind of moving towards your hand and heating up your hand. What's something else that pushes hot air?
Cups.
Okay, well that is one example. If you guys, like when you have the liquid, here's an example. Because liquid nitrogen when he has it on the table, all that smoke is billowing off.
Yeah.
How come all of that smoke or the gas, how come it all falls down?
Because it's not heavier than air.
Well, it's heavier than air, but it's also what? Cold.
Oh, it
Well, the colder something is, the closer they are together. So think about like if I drop this in water, what's gonna happen to it? It's gonna float. Because this is very spread out. But if I put a penny in water, it's gonna drop right now. That's very nice. So if I have hot water, hey Carl, I need you to keep it in your head. Okay? You need to work on this time while you're doing it.
I am.
Good. So if you have a hair dryer, okay, a hair dryer is going to warm up air, and then it's going to push that air, circulate that air. Now that air is going to go out, and all the air around it is going to heat up. So in a sense, you're just heating up the air around your hair. And so that's an example of convection. It's air. In a sense, well, you're pushing warm air to where it's cold. So the warm hot is always going to go to cold. So convection is it's always just think air and water currents. So an example of this would be, here's what I tell like my house, right? In my house, I have a stucco house here with me, Nate. And during the day, the sun goes, and it heats up the air, and then the air outside is really hot. Okay, inside my house it's relatively cool. The house is cold, so over the course of the day, that hot air moves into the house. So at night sometimes my house is like really hot. So all the air from outside is moving to my house. So if I open up the windows at night, where's that hot air going to go? Outside. So that's a great way to cool out the house rather than running air conditioners. If you open up the windows, that hot air is going to move out. Okay. So that's one way to look at it. Yes.
Hot outside too.
If it's hot outside, then turn on the air conditioning. That's a good one. Okay, last one. All right, the last one we have not really talked about is radiation. Draw me an example of radiation.
I just dropped the radiation.
Yeah, but show me an example of something that would
Oh, yeah, right, it's like, it's a lot of people would, do radiation.
Okay.
Oh, microwave, that's what I do.
Good.
That's fine. You can drop it. I'm glad.
Oh, that's not for big. So sunlight. Sunlight is the easiest example. The reason we get sunburn is because of radiation. Yeah. Perfect. The reason our heat boots up in the microwave, radiation. The reason why you wear an apron when you go to the dentist, they put that lead apron on you.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
it's because
radiation and light.
there's that X-ray is radiation. Now, small amounts of X-ray are fine, but the X-ray is so powerful it can go through your skin, but it can't go through your bone. So it bounces off your bone, and you get a picture of your bone. The problem is if you get too much radiation, particularly like heart, lungs, and vital organs, that can damage those organs, and so that's why they have you put the lead apron on so that you don't get damaged.
That's really good. So we're gonna get cancer.
Focus on yours.
Cancer. Who's the one that you can get cancer from that?
Yeah, and that's like because it's damaging the DNA. It's basically kind of slicing the DNA in your cells, and it's messing up and so then your cells don't reproduce correctly and it causes cancer cells. Okay, so radiation is pretty simple. We're going to talk a lot more about radiation here, but that's what we're going to use with our solar ovens in our next project. We're going to use the power from the sun to heat up the air in our ovens. All right, and then the thing is we want to keep that hot air inside the ovens, so we have to kind of keep it insulated. We good?
Yeah.
Okay, so erase your boards, keep
Is
it
this
here.
good, Michael?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know.
When you guys go back to your chairs, please keep the chairs from being too crazy. And then, yeah, yes. Thanks. You guys are going to go fast. Okay, J-Ron, Carl, I know you guys are coming. Hey, John.
To the lot.
You guys can come. Okay. Gentlemen in the computers, listen up. Your assignment's on Classroom, the directions are on the assignment. So just get to that, work on that. If you complete it, you can go to Quizlet. Those of you here, okay, no, I need you guys to listen to the table here. Guys, I'll wait on you. Okay, where you're at, perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
What I need you to do first is I want you to draw me on the molecular level what's happening in all the molecules, solid, liquid, and solid, liquid, and gas. You just draw 3 squares and draw what the molecules look like in solid, liquid, and gas.
Is it 3 squares?
Yep. 1 solid, 1 liquid, 1 gas. Well, you can do another box for liquid. I do not. And then you can spend all your time looking for music when I can get a lot done. Okay. Get to this end. Okay. Very good. Wow, that's very ordered. Very nice. Okay. So, one of you can explain why you drew the picture the way that. Go ahead, Isaac.
Well, because solid is.
What?
The solid is like complex and put together, it doesn't move.
Does it not move?
Well, it does, but it's very, yeah.
Less. Okay, so what's going on with liquid?
Liquid, a little movement,
More movement, right?
yeah,
More movement. And then gas?
a lot of movement spread out everywhere.
Gas is a lot of movement. When anybody's drawing based on the video that you guys saw, what would a molecule like? Just draw me a single molecule. What would it look like at absolute zero? Like, what would it be doing? Would it be would you think a molecule, would it be, what form would it definitely be in? Solid, liquid, gas at absolute zero?
Solid.
Solid. And what would the motion be like? Motionless. Completely, okay? And that is why absolute zero is a very unique temperature because it's the coldest that anything can get. When you remove all,
Yeah, how can you get below zero, but you can't get?
well, that's a really complicated explanation. It would take you like a degree in physics to completely understand. But the main idea is that when you remove every ounce of heat, the most you can remove, you're basically removing motion, molecular motion. So when you remove every single piece of heat, there's zero motion and you're at the coldest something can get. The coldest something can get is absolute zero. Okay? So if I had even just like the teeniest, tiniest, like a millionth of a degree, that thing will start to move. And scientists now have got things down where they move like this. Single molecules are like, and that's obviously a huge exaggeration because it would be that, except, magnified a gazillion times and then only like a tiniest little inch. So no one has ever succeeded in anything completely the absolute zero speaking molecular motion stop, but you can get pretty darn close. But as you keep adding things, this is what happens. Absolute one, I guess. Do you think that there's that's a good point. No, it's very close to absolute zero. But absolute zero is that. You remove all energy, no motion, completely freezing. Okay, so as we start to raise the temperature, what's happening to molecules? They start what? They expand and they start doing what? Shaking more, moving faster and moving faster. So do you think there's an upper limit? There's a lower limit, is there an upper limit?
Yeah.
What would you think it would be? Well, the sun is somewhere in the range of like 10 million degrees.
So possibly.
And there are stars, the sun isn't even the hottest star out there. There are many stars hotter. Yep. Yep. Nope, there are many, many stars that are hotter than the sun. You guys folks in? So, bottom line is this, is we can go all over the universe and there are places way hotter than our sun. So there really is, as far as we know, no upper limit to how fast something can go. Things can always move faster and faster and faster and faster, and we don't know that there's an upper limit. We know that once you take all the motion out, you can't go any slower than zero. Yeah, that's as slow as you can go to zero, but there's not, when you say like how fast can a car go, it can keep going faster and technically go faster and technically faster, but a car can't go any slower than zero. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can't go slower than zero, so like from a motion standpoint, you can't go any slower than zero. That's absolute zero.
Is it really impossible?
It's not possible. No, you get nowhere on zero. You're stuck, you're there.
You can push the car and it's not going.
That's on zero.
That's not, you're pushing the car like one mile. Okay, next thing, so we got that.
What about reverse?
It'd be tight.
But you're stuck in motion, you're just moving in different directions.
But that would be tight, like if they could go like maybe one and maybe
Yeah, you can go, what,
If I was, you can go.
you can't go to absolute zero. Absolute zero is the lowest you can go. Okay? So, absolute zero, zero motion. What I want you to draw now is imagine lots of motion. I want you to show me conduction. Show me conduction on the board. What is conduction? You were gone for you to miss all this, but
I thought it was convection.
nope, you're right. Conduction is when what? Yes, the transfer of energy from.
I know that,
It
but
is
that's like.
faster.
So draw an example of this.
don't know.
Well,
And
Mr. Man.
what-
Mr. Man, are molecules inside of atoms or atoms inside of molecules?
say that again.
Are atoms inside of molecules or are molecules inside of atoms?
Atom molecules are made up of more than this. So, okay, that would be dangerous. Okay, so all of that energy from the stove is going directly into your hand. What do you got going there?
Oh, alright, so like, I got like a pan over the stove.
Yes, so if you touch that, then it'll be here. So I'm gonna go give you the example. Some of you guys saw me with the other group here. So if I have a hot pan sitting on the stove and it's all metal, and I grab the handle, okay, if you can be the pan, okay, and you've got, how are your molecules going if you're super hot, okay? Oh, that's all in my hand. Whoa, that hurts, ow, because I got all that motion in my hand now, all right? But now you're super hot, now all of a sudden, I put on a glove. What's this gonna do to that motion?
Stop it a little bit.
Slow it, so now you're still shaking hot. You're still crazy hot, really hot, shaking. So now I got an insulator. This is slowing down the energy. So now instead of me, my hand burning, a little slower. And when I'm moving this slow, I'm not going to get burned. See that? Okay. There it is. Yes, that's dangerous, right there. Okay. So you've got to be touching directly though, and this is the key here. If you're not touching it directly, it's not conduction. All right, we'll just cut this video off a little bit. He's got to cut off. See, because he touched the oven, he's in trouble then. All right. So, all right. Now I want you to show me. Can I see it? What do you got? Oven. You guys go conduction. Okay. Radiator or convection now. Show me convection. Convection is different than radiation. For conduction. Convection. Okay, gentlemen, let's go. Convection. Convection.
The transfer of light.
How is it different than conduction? Are they touching you? Convection.
No.
No, and then like.
No, you're drawing radiation.
Oh, yeah, that is radiation.
Convection.
You didn't even know.
Hey, gentlemen, let's go. Carl and Isaac. Draw convection.
What is convection?
Okay, well, it's not the same as conduction, and it's not radiation, so yes, you're on the right track. So conduction is when things are touching. How is convection going to be different? It's a transfer of energy in a different way that's not when things are touching.
This is like the sidewalk and then hot air going up and cool air coming in.
That works. What do you got? So you're kind of showing your radiation, because if you're showing the sunlight kind of going through and heating things up, energy from the sun is radiation. Okay? Yes. But if we're all sitting here and I put a dome over us and NOS, rips one off, okay, it's probably going to heat up the room just a little bit because the heat is going to spread around the room. Okay? So convection, convection is when air circulates and it heats up a place. So if you have a hair dryer and you just spread it around the room for a while, that hot air is going to spread out around the room. But my better example, I'm going to draw you here. Okay? Pay attention here. So here's a house, and this is a house in the winter, let's say it's winter. So it's cold out. So if you open, this is one thing that drives me nuts. My daughters, like in the winter, like they come in from outside and then they take off their boots and stuff or whatever, and they slam at the door, and then they just leave the door. Like the screen door area is closed, but then the big door isn't closed. And I'm like, close the door. And my wife says, you're letting the cold in. And I'm like, I'm a science teacher. I say, no, you're not letting the cold in. I say, you're doing what? Letting the air, the heat comes out. The heat is out. Because it's hot, it's here, and it's cold. And hot always moves to cold. Are you with me? Hot moves to cold. So my daughters leave the door open. All the hot air in here is going out there. That's a convection current. Because hot air is always going to move to cold. Now, it's different in the summer. Okay, In the summer, gentlemen, stop. What's the difference?
Cool air.
Yes, no, the cool air doesn't go out.
Oh, the hot air.
The hot air comes in, so that's why it drives me nuts. It's the same exact thing, except my daughters, they're playing all the time in the summer, so they're going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and they never close the big door. And I'm like, can you, Xavier, Xavier,
Hey, Xavier.
we can hear it.
Hey, Xavier.
Turn down,
Hey, Xavier.
turn your volume down.
Yeah. Man, over there listening.
So, listen, in the summer, it's the complete opposite.
Cold air getting out.
The cold air is never
Coming
getting out.
in.
When you feel
Oh.
that draft, what you're feeling, like this morning, I came in and on the edge of the door.
That's
Yeah.
why you open up the window.
But in the gym, when I was in the gym, hey guys, listen. When I walked into the gym, there's a little crack in the door, and it felt like cold air was coming out. But really, it wasn't cold air coming out. What I was feeling was the temperature difference right at the cusp of the door. The hot air from outside was trying to go into the gym. So really, the hot is always moving to cold. Are you guys paying attention here? I love you. Don, show you a picture. See that? That's just a hair dryer. So a hair dryer is just taking, you've got cold air around your hair, and then air from the hair dryer is swirling around and heating up the area around your hair and helping it to dry out. All right? So last, draw me radiation.
So that's not my same thing. Radiation. Yes. I got you, homie. Oh.
Radiation is time. So you've shown me convection, you've shown me conduction. Now, and if you can, a lot of you are getting the sun. I want you to show me, can you think of one other source of radiation beyond the sun you can draw along with your picture?
I got you.
And actually, that is kind of correct, because it does have a wave-like structure.
How about a fire?
A fireplace, the light that you see from the fire and the heat is actually infrared energy. And so the heat that you're getting from that,
I don't know what actually looks like.
you can just put like someone like a shape of someone and put bones on the inside.
But
X-ray is good. But Gianni, have you guys ever seen these things called like infrared heaters?
I read shoot.
Yeah, the infrared heaters, what they're doing is they're just creating infrared radiation, and that radiation goes right to you as heat. You feel it as heat. So anytime we, what? Well, you're giving off infrared radiation right now. Have you guys ever seen like predator vision? You know, like where he has like it's green and cool areas, and then when there's a person, it's like red, they're shaped. That's infrared. What you're detecting is a person's heat signature. So things that are really hot in an infrared camera are red, and things that are cool are usually like on the bluer end of the spectrum. Yeah, so like a thermal camera is just detecting some infrared radiation detector. Our eyes can't see infrared radiation. They don't read. Okay. Are you guys listening to what I'm saying over there? Okay, so if you are the predator can't see invisible light like we can, but the predator can see heat. He can see people's heat signatures. And so that's the thing. It's like if you guys, if we were to cover up that window with the curtain, and you were to stand outside that window, the predator could still see you because you can see the heat behind the curtain. Okay, you gotta be careful with the predator. Predators can see infrared. Predator, you can Google it. He's bad. He's an alien. Yes. Okay. It's just a movie.
How do dudes survive?
I don't know. But have your markers, erase your boards, put your markers here.
Is it scary? Oh, it's not scary.
It's like the alien.
No, today. Let's go. Have your markers, erase your boards.
So make it.
All right, back to your chairs. Let's go.
Hey, stop playing, man. Stop lying. Hey, everybody to log out, stay in their chairs.
Hey, no.
So sad, so sad, so sad.
Mom.
Watch out, watch out.
Cheers.
Watch out, little.
Gentlemen, they don't get logged out, stay right in their chairs for the next 30. So,
Oh, we got Rick today?
Hey,
Watch out,
gentlemen, got about 10 seconds. Hey, I see it. Now. Okay, before you leave, there's one thing you're gonna need to, don't do it yet, just listen first. I'll have you get your headphones for me, Mr. Setters. Secondly, all right, today we reviewed 4 things. Absolute zero, and we reviewed conduction, convection, and radiation. Before we leave, someone, in your own words, not just like a book definition, but in your own words, explain to me the basic concept of absolute zero. Okay? Good, lots of hands. Hey, Suits, explain to me.
Absolute zero is
There's no heat, and so what happens to the molecules? Everything is still. I like that. Perfect. Okay, if energy is being transferred through conduction, someone raise your hand and tell me what's happening. I need everybody to listen. When something is energy is being exchanged through conduction. Okay, not as many hands this time.
You said what?
When heat is being exchanged through conduction, explain. I kind of just give away. Nate?
Two things are touching.
When 2 things are touching, and why? Does everything conduct in the same way?
No.
No. Okay. If something is exchanging energy through convection, explain that to me, Kate.
Well, convection, it's when, like, say, for example, fart, and then somebody else smells it.
Well, the smelling of it is not so much, but the heat.
It heats up the heat.
Heats up the room. I'll give you that. Okay. All right. We got you back to zero. No, we're almost done. No, wait. No. Eighth grade. You got to control yourself. I need one person, last thing. Radiation, sources of radiation, what they do, knowledge.
Radiation is like really like heat, which is waves that can cause heat and burn things.
Well, it can increase the temperature of something, but it's more specifically like a source of radiation. What might that be, Carl?
the sun, like, it transferred energy to something else.
Exactly.
That's
One more source of radiation.
Like you said over at the table, like, what is that when, like, it's like winter time and then, like, the air temperature?
That's a convection when the hot air is going from one place to another. That's air. So what's another source of radiation besides the sun?
microwave.
Microwaves. Gentlemen, can you both do? So when our heat, I guess I don't have everybody's attention. We're gonna start to this last part. Microwaves, X-rays, gamma rays, all things that we'll talk about later in the year are all sources of radiation. And so is the other example that I used was predator vision. You can see in infrared. Now, so before you leave, I need you to stop. Make sure that your headphones are rolled up. When I call you, roll up.
Hold up.
Roll up.
Hey, that's not.
Nas, Dylan,
Man, why does it hurt?
hang on to that question, Dylan. Luigi,
You know, not.
Hey, Sue. Carl,
Hold up, but we did our roll up.
go to a different box now. Okay, Dom. There. The rest of you can go.
Dominic. Me too. I got it. Why do you bring so many notes?
Take this.
Because I have work
I got
to do. I'm not going to